Happy Saturday, beautiful souls, wherever you are on this phenomenal planet. It is time for Shift Your Thinking Daily, where we transform our inner experience to phenomenal outer experience for 10 minutes of our day. We do it together. Say hi, say hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Drop a comment down below. Make sure you hit the notifications. That way you know every time I upload a new episode. Right now, we are now doing Shift Your Thinking Daily on IGTV. Also available as a replay on our radio podcast platform everywhere. Spotify, Stitcher, Google, iTunes, everywhere. I will also say check me out on LinkedIn and YouTube at lasuperagent. I wanted to also invite you to join us with our breathing technique, okay? So we are now taking deep breaths, 2 deep breaths in and out before we get ready to receive today's message so we can clear off all the junk and, everything. So loosen up, and get ready to receive. Ready? Breathe in and out. One more time. Breathe in and out. Woo. How does that feel? How are you feeling, lovies? How are you feeling? All right. So I'm in the section. Again, we are continuing our series from 200 Ways to Improve Our Life with Dean Del Sesto's Shift Your Thinking. I'm in the section where it says sometimes the best counsel we can give someone is delivered in the form of a question. So I'm calling episode 95, How Sway. The author says, well thought out questions are often more powerful than well thought out statements. Safer too. And I want to add to this, especially when someone is sharing, they're either venting. Ask permission before you offer advice. Ask if they would like to hear your opinion or your advice or your feedback on that. I do that all the time. I normally would like to ask first permission. Would you like to hear my feedback? Sometimes people don't want to hear that feedback. They just want to share. So let's continue. The author says most of our communication efforts are spent discovering ways to say things more clearly, accurately, and powerfully. Drop down in the comments clearly, accurately, and powerfully. 1, 2, 3. But little thought goes into the concept of being an expert at asking questions as a tool to help people instead of making the statements we think are so poignant. Drop in the comments down below. Ask. The author says questions are the assurance of intelligence, impactful communication, and the more the questions, the less chance of a miscommunication. Absolutely. I just want to be clear. I ask for clarity. I'll reiterate just to be clear. Drop in the comments, say clarity. The author says the art of uncovering what is real for people is a lost art, as it takes patience to listen through the stories, the pain, and whatever else has to come out before the raw truth surfaces. But the value that exists in strategic inquiry is far greater in effectiveness than taking post shots at someone's issues without knowing the background and the facts. The author says it is the exposure of these details that effective dialogue would begin to form, creating wise, accurate statements that hit home rather than broad strokes that have little meaning and potentially no impact. We ask questions, we communicate for impact. Drop down below, impact speaking. The author says, I remember talking with a psychologist friend over lunch, and I asked, wouldn't it be amazing if during a patient session you didn't make one statement, but simply asked all the right questions? Then after the patient answered all your questions, they got it and were on the path of recovery? Go figure. I held my panel, actually my first top producer women's panel. I mentioned it on the last episode. I was the host moderator. And so my chairperson was asking, hey, do you want the audience to ask questions? And I said, not yet, because I'm asking questions and perhaps their questions will be answered in my questions, in the questions that I formulated. So let's hold it to the end. So if I didn't touch on anything or didn't ask the questions, they can also add theirs for the panelists. So I love this. Absolutely. I'm always thinking about formulating the right questions to get the clarity, be accurate, and make sure I'm clear and there's no miscommunication. The author says, he laughed, then replied, and he's talking about his friend. The friend laughed and replied, the skill of questions is the top skill for anyone, anyone looking to have impact with others. Providing someone with the space to discover and voice their own revelations is wisdom at its finest. Our ability to strategically inquire is a learned skill that will pay a lifetime of emotional, relational, and financial dividends. And if you ask me, it's well worth the effort. The CTA today is, let's go ahead and ask the questions. Ask the question. Stop assuming that you know everything, and don't let anybody make you feel like you need to know everything. That's one of the things that I am imploring of people when it comes to real estate. Don't feel or ashamed that you don't know, because this isn't something that isn't taught in your academic years. This isn't your day-to-day. So we are not expecting you to know. So if you have to ask somebody ask the same question in 3, 4, 5 different ways, or they have to draw pictures for you in order for you to get it, then so be it. Invite someone to answer the questions that you're asking. So CTA for today, as we get ready to wrap this up, ask the questions, right? And this is not about showing how much you know. You asking the question is not about wanting to share that you're the smartest person in the room because you already know the answer. Be genuine about wanting to be clear. It's not about being a right fighter. This is not about making a point. Ask the questions for clarity. And you'll be amazed of how much insight will be brought out between you and the other party. Take your time, listen, learn, ask the questions. All right, I'll see you tomorrow on episode 96 on Shift Your Thinking. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure you are subscribing and downloading our radio podcast. I am available on YouTube at lasuperagent. Again, check out the playlist and get connected. I am at lasuperagent.com. Remember to connect, build, and share. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.